Hello everyone, welcome to the video. I've got my dog Herbie and he's on the lead because we're up in Wales, North Wales, and this is common land. These are all mines here, old mines, so they get fenced off, but on this common land, all the locals let their sheep out. So, lambing season, I want the dog on the lead. And this is quite a steep hill or mountain. It's clear here, but over in that direction is Liverpool. Well, we'll get a bit higher. You can have a look. It's a nice viewpoint here. Right, Herbie, we're going to go this way. And don't eat that. So this is where I'm from originally. This is where my relatives are all from. My parents are from. This is my homeland, this is. But out of my affordability now, Airbnb, that's what it's called, isn't it? Airbnb land. Priced out of it. But around here, my family owned land and they built houses for their own relatives, which they do still live in, but you know, planning and all of that, they couldn't continue the... Oh, what have you done? Oh, there's someone up here. Yeah, it's quite smoggy. Usually you can see, well, you can see the Dee estuary, hopefully, and beyond that you can see the Mersey River. Anyway, yeah, this is where I'm from, and I feel, or my family, that big peak over there, I think that's Movamai, and beyond you can sort of see Snowdonia. So we used to come up these mountains all the time, especially in my school holidays. So I thought that I would update you on my court cases. And well, quite a few things have happened. I'll sit myself down and let you know. So one of them got issued. This was against the police force, and that issued claim never got responded to. This was done through the CNBC, which I've criticised quite significantly for being poor quality. So the issued claim didn't get responded to. There was no defence filed, and so I sent in a default judgment to the CNBC, which got ignored by the CNBC when I did a case progression. So then I sent in another version of it, and again it's been ignored by the CNBC. Well, I've got a claim also against the CNBC, but more so it's against the Ministry of Justice about the CNBC. But I'll have to make another claim on this one in particular, on this case, because I can't add it to my particulars of claim, I don't think, now that there's a defence filed. But I've criticised the CNBC. They're terrible. They lose everything, and this is what my claim against the Ministry of Justice is about. So the Ministry of Justice lost another claim of mine in 2025 at the very beginning. So I brought a claim against them for losing that, and that's been issued and it's now being defended. But I'm also going to start another claim against them for losing this other claim. I think they've lost it, or not even responding to my case progression request. So there's a lot of stuff that I'm bringing against the Ministry of Justice because of their failures, mainly to do with the CNBC. Now you're all in a pickle, Herbie. Yeah, that's Herbie. Don't breathe. Well, do breathe, but not in my ear. So there's the Ministry of Justice claim. Then I've got a defence filed from the Secretary of State for Justice, which is David Lammy, and this is about LASPO. I've talked a lot about LASPO. It prevents legal aid for civil claims, and the reason why civil claims are so important is because that's our way of holding the government to account. And we can't really hold governments to account when we're just voting. That's not good enough. You know, we're supposed to be in a democracy where you can do it properly. And our legal aid has been taken away from us. Our ability to hold them to account has been taken away from us through the LASPO Act. And so you cannot hold the government or authorities to account really anymore in our democracy. It's a phony democracy, isn't it? So there's that situation happened as well. So they have filed their defence. I will let you know more because I have got names for the court cases, but I'm asking for anonymity. So because this is to do with rape, and it's also to do with what is politicised rape. So I have suffered consequences of, you know, being raped by what many people believe is a victim. You know, they believe that to discuss this kind of rape is politicised and divisive to community cohesion. So I want to have anonymity, so I'll let you know about those case names when I know what is coming with regards to my order for anonymity. But I've been harassed online and offline, and threatened online and offline, so that's why I'm asking. Anyway, I have avoided sort of writing anything up on Substack just because I've been building up my evidence bundles. So I haven't really had time to do any writing or thinking beyond my legal matters at the moment. So I'll probably, in the meantime, do walks with Herbie, and we will probably I will probably be talking more sort of about the Bible and things like that, so it might not be of everyone's interest. Spirituality, those sorts of things, because it interests me, and it helps me through what is a very dark situation, because once again I'm being left to self-represent in the most difficult circumstances surrounding rape, my own rape. I love that house. I love that stone cottage, and if I could have any house in the world, it would be that stone cottage. I love it. Yeah, these are very difficult circumstances, so I don't really like to think too much about the politics surrounding it, but I kind of concentrate more on the Bible at these sorts of points, and obviously I have a very different interpretation, it seems, than most Christians on the Bible, so I'm a little bit nervous about doing that as well, because one of the reasons why I completely, not only myself but everyone in my family, completely turned away from the church was because Christians became so sort of precious and woke about their Bible and Christianity, but it became off-putting, and that's exactly what the woke have done, you know. And I've seen it on Substack, you know, I've made some comments, and these Christians are calling me a liar and all sorts of things. It's everything I don't like about Christianity, and I've got to say I do love the Bible, but I have a difficult time with Christians for the most part, and that is why I just struggle, and have had a struggle with probably God, but also with Christians. Most Christians, I've got to say, are nice and calm and pleasant people, but there are certainly Christians which are on the militant and woke side, which I really struggle with. I think we'll go up to the top, get a 360 view. But even so, just reading the Bible and, you know, different interpretations and contemplating it all, it's a lot. I mean, the Bible is not light reading, is it? But it's because there's so many different interpretations. Oh my goodness! What the heck? No, you've just. Oh, I'm gonna have to wash you. No, don't eat the poo. Come on. Look at you. Let's keep away from the poo. He's been doing this. He's been rolling in all this different poo Horse poo, now sheep poo. Come on, you dirty bugger. Oh, you are filthy. I've got to wash you. What a disgusting beast. Come here, let's see the damage. Come on, let's see the damage. Don't run away from me. He's running away, he knows. Oh, oh my goodness. Oh, yeah, God. You're flicking it all off you now. Oh, look at that. How do you get poo, slushed up poo out of poodle hair? Leave it now. Yeah, so the interpretation of the Bible, I like being able to have the opportunity to interpret the Bible, but of course people get very angry. It's like with woke, it's less I don't know, I suppose that's religion, maybe, I don't know. So I just find I'm finding out where I'm comfortable, my comfortable spot. I just, I'm not keen on the regimental type Christianity in the same way that I'm not keen on the regimental militant woke. So I do feel quite nervous about my interpretations, but they are only mine, personal interpretations. They're not regimental, put it that way. And while you're listening to my interpretations, just remind yourself that I'm the woman who has to clean up this poo off this dog. And I just wish you didn't have such a cute little face. It's on your face as well. Oh, get away from there, because they've got the runs over there. I think you went and rolled in the diarrhea, didn't you? You thought, oh yeah, there's the best poo to roll around in. Unfortunately, this video wasn't meant to be about poo. But leave it. And don't roll there again, unless it's to scrape it all off you. No, leave it. You've got this dog. See, I can't do videos with him because he's so bizarre. His behaviours are so nutty. You mess. No, leave it. One of the sheep has diarrhea. Maybe all of them. Just my luck. Just my luck. Come on. So yeah, there's also other claims which haven't even been issued. I sent off the claims in March 2025. And it's now April 2026 and they've still not been issued. There's there's some forums on the internet like Reddit and other forums which are about, you know, how difficult it is to get the claims issued in the first place. Like, they're so pedantic. And in my own situation, the court office staff, especially for the CNBC, they've got names which are mainly Islamic and African. And when there's claims which you're finding it to get difficult to be issued, like mine, you do start to wonder about gatekeeping by these groups of people. You can't help but think about that, because the majority of people who've been responding from the courts, they're not British, and they're most certainly African or Islamic. So I'll show you the names, and you can tell me if you think that that's, you know, if you would feel comfortable about that, because I don't. I feel that it's I feel like it's gatekeeping in many ways, especially when I'm talking about raising claims about this rape, and my claims haven't even been issued for over a year. I mean, that's not a problem in and of itself, because I wanted to get these claims about justice out of the way first of all, really, because and they were the ones which I filed last, and they were issued immediately, but I wanted to get them out of the way first, so that it's set. If I was able to set precedent, then I was able to set precedent in time for the other claims which are against the police and all of that kind of stuff, or, you know, just get judgments for them, and those judgments would be applying for today, and for when my other claims came through and did get issued. But the fact that it's taken so long, it's just really sad, and it does reek of gatekeeping from my perspective. Like I said, you know, I will show you the names of the people who are contacting me saying that I've made an error on my forms and that I need to correct them. So then I correct them, and then they'll come back a few months later saying, no, you need to do it this way, which is the way that they had now said was incorrect. So I'll say, well, you've told me not to do that, send them their forms as evidence, and then it takes them another few months just to respond to that form. So although it's taken over a year, and probably will take a year and a half or even longer to get issued in the first instance, no doubt the defendants will argue, well, it's out of time, but it was never out of time when I filed, and they are dated. They are date stamped from when they first got filed to the courts. But that's obviously going to be one of their arguments against me. I think we're just going to have to cut your hair, Herbie, because that is too big a job. You're going to be like a curly whippet next week, completely shaven off. I'll show you the images next week. You'll look very different. But yeah, I will go around again. it does feel like gatekeeping, and it allows the defendants to make that argument. So I'm expecting the argument that it's out of time, but it wasn't out of time, and it is date stamped. It's just that they weren't willing to allow it to be issued, go to the judge to be issued. Not to worry, because these other cases still are reflective of the rape that I went through and these scenarios which have arisen because of it. But it's just a bit of a downer, really. No one really wants to feel that their own justice system cannot be used because there's foreign people sort of preventing that. And another thing that I've been noticing, and this is why I feel that spirituality is a discussion that needs to be had, I'm seeing a whole load of reform activists, you know, the Nigel Farage group, political party, and you know, some of them are foreigners, and they seem to be taking on that sort of mindset of the woke. I believe that the woke is soon going to be moved over to reform, and what I'm noticing in particular that kind of concerns me, I guess, is that they are saying things like they'll be foreign people, and they take offence to Restore Britain followers discussing foreigners in the country. What's so strange, I guess, about that is that they claim to embrace freedom of speech, but then they're screaming, "I'm offended." They're not saying, they're not going as far as what the woke did, admittedly, but I can just see it materialising in its infancy, and I do see a wokeness arising, and obviously you can kind of see that with the picks and choices that Farage has made. It does seem to be the woke right kind of thing. I'm finding it interesting to keep an observation over it, but keeping my distance from politics, because I think politics is very destructive for the mind, actually, and I think it's very destructive for the spirit, and the spirit is within the mind, I'm guessing, or certainly the soul, or whatever it is that I'm trying to articulate. Hopefully you can somewhat relate to what I'm saying, but I find that politics is quite brutal. But yeah, I can't reissue the claims and start again, because they will be out of time. They have to continue on the basis of having sent them in over a year ago, and they're just not getting sent to be issued. And I do feel that this is an attempt to demoralise me, but I'm just seeing it instead as evidence, more collection of evidence against the system that we have, the corruption, and one of the things also that I've been thinking about quite recently is the Sharia law. When I did my law degree, I got all these booklets about Sharia law. And when I asked my tutor why I'd received them, she didn't know, and she asked me to send copies to her so that she could see that it was actually happening. But it was real, what I was suggesting. So I think that Sharia law, the courts and all of that, there's something brewing about that, and I feel that what's going to happen, okay, so this is a legal aspect of it, and a lot of the right wing, they want to get rid of the Human Rights Act and the Equalities Act because they are saying, well, that's bringing over all these illegals who are getting to stay here, which is true. But one of the issues with the Human Rights Act and the Equalities Act is that they've not fully been interpreted from our aspect, from the white race and the ethnicity of the English and the Welsh and stuff, white Welsh and white English. They've not really been interpreted from this perspective in the high courts. That's what I'm trying to do now, because I can't find any lawyer to represent me in what I'm trying to argue as well. It's near impossible. So these arguments, they have been made in the lower courts and the employment tribunals, and they have won. So I don't know why they wouldn't be won in the higher courts and the Supreme Court, but they are interpreted to mean only minority races, which is not what the law actually states. The law states ethnicity as in a generic perspective, and race in a generic perspective. Oh, it's getting windy. I hope you can hear me. So these haven't been tested in the higher courts, but I think that they could be done and should be done before the right start chucking out these laws, because these laws could be used against conscription, which I think we're pretty certain here now that that's going to happen. We have been warned by the media relentlessly that this is going to happen. So we should be using these laws and testing these laws before claiming that we need to chuck them away. The right to life in our Human Rights Act means that you would be able to avoid conscription. But I expect that conscription will take place once these laws are removed and are repealed, which is why I'm really not fully in with the right wing either. Because I understand the whole jury and Magna Carta, but we're in a different system right now. And I've been criticised for using this system. People have said to me, yeah, but you're using the system, so you're betraying the people. But the people, as a whole, believe in this system. You can't... the only way you can create a different system is if you start creating different courts, just like Sharia courts, which are now sort of ignored by the police, right? And they are thriving, really. Well, that's exactly what early Christian courts were themselves. They did these whole early Christian type courts, and they were very much with the jury. They held a jury type scenario. But a lot of the people in the alternative media, or who are freedom fighters. They aren't Christians, they're New Age. So you can't really do Christian courts, or they can't do Christian courts. They might be able to do some sort of philosophical court, but Christians could create Christian courts. Now, don't go bouncing down there, it's too steep if you drag me. Stop contemplating it. You can't fly, you're a dog. So Christians can create small Christian courts, and also then you've also got the Equalities Act, which protects you if the police start raiding your small courts, because you can say, well, you don't do that with these Sharia courts, so you shouldn't be doing it with our courts. You shouldn't be getting involved in our Christian courts. And of course the New Age can do that as well if they have some sort of philosophical belief that they can apply to the law, but I think that would get messy for them, because it's not, there's so many different philosophical beliefs within the New Age that they will kind of, there's too many beliefs that it becomes absurd and irrational under our laws. So that's why Christian courts are a better idea, I believe, for us. And then you can compare and contrast with the Sharia courts, you see. And that's what I'm thinking. And so what I've been doing when it came to Palm Sunday, I attended church for the first time since childhood, and I really enjoyed the experience. It was it was not woke, I'll give it that. It was he was far from woke. He was quite radical, really. I really enjoyed it. So I did keep attending, although I'm attending this particular church with someone who lives quite far. It's sort of slap bang in the middle of us, and they might not be able to reach that church, so we'll have to see. We might just keep on having a look for different churches. But I really did enjoy these services, and it's as if he's speaking in a secret language that I get. He's quite radical, but very vague in being radical. Come here, Herbie, we're going to sit down. Don't be rolling in poo, okay? Don't roll in poo. So, yeah, that's kind of all I wanted to talk about, really, I guess. It's I think around here you can see, it might be quite in the distance, but the Duke of Westminster's, another one of his castles, and sort of built around where my family originate from, where they were all shepherds here. And this is the thing with colonialism, the argument of colonialism, that we all pay reparations, because not everyone's family was over in these colonies. My family weren't, so why do I have to pay reparations? It's a silly idea, and I think that people understand that, though, but we need to make these arguments clear. I think you can possibly see the wind turbines over there in the sea. So ugly. So the shitification, that's what that guy called it, of everything. Anyway, yeah, I think that we could actually use the Equality Act and the Human Rights Act for ourselves and really change how it means. But I don't think that there'll be enough people to do it, maybe. But I don't think that there needs to be masses of people doing it. But I think that there needs to be hundreds. And I'm not sure. I mean, it might be that it's changing, because obviously you've got these, there's a lot of court cases, especially by the police officers, you know. Furlong versus Cheshire Police. There's 3 white officers versus Thames Valley Police. They were all about race discrimination. They were white, and sex and sexuality, because in Furlong that was about him not getting a job because he was a straight white male. He didn't get the job, or he didn't receive the opportunity to apply for the job, or something like that. That's what happened with 3 white officers. They didn't get the opportunity to apply for the job. So these things are happening, these things are turning around, but if they start turning around too much, and you also see what Mayor Forster is doing, but if these things turn around too much against their ideology, then yeah, I imagine that they will want to get these repealed. And it will be very easy to repeal these laws, and then suddenly we don't have right to life in our current legal system, which is more easily to be accepted as an argument, as a legal argument in UK courts right now, because their current legislation. It's not to say that older legislation can't be used, it's just trickier to do it, I would imagine. I am bringing my own legal arguments from like antiquated laws, but I don't know. Anyway, I will leave it there for now, and I hope you've enjoyed the views. I hope I've not been watching the camera to check how I'm doing with filming. I never do, but I hope you've enjoyed it. It is a nice view, it's really pretty, and I'll go and wash the dog now, the dirty dog, and I'll probably be uploading videos rather than anything else, rather than writing at the moment. And I will keep you informed with these court cases. Okay, bye.